Well, we're here in the A to Z studio. As you can tell, it's the end of an era.
Yeah. We're moving out. We had a great time in this space. We want to thank everybody this whole time for all of your continued support over these 2 years. We started from the bottom, now we're here.
Yeah.
That was Zach's kitchen, now we have this. And that's about it. It's just the end of an era, you know.
We had a lot of really good times in here.
Had a lot of great guests.
Yeah.
And we love Beaumont. We love how much you guys have supported us. And that's all I got.
Well, you want to get on out of here?
Yeah, let's get on.
Man, it's a good spot. Had a lot of good times. Talked to a lot of really cool people in there, and you know, it was an important place for us in the future, or whenever we were trying to get this thing rolling. You know, it was a good place. It was a good hang. Like it was a good setup. I don't know what. I don't know what else to even say about it.
Times change, things change, and sometimes it's just time to move on, right? Sometimes you gotta know that what you're doing isn't working, and that's okay, right?
I hope so.
You have to evolve.
You have to evolve. What evolve means to grow?
That means to adapt or die.
To adapt or die. That's right. Okay. Well. Oh. This is A to Z, episode 125.
Today's guest is Cyberpunk photographer Dylan Newton.
It's like they're trying to be too meta.
We're gonna make them an offer they can't refuse.
Much better.
Yeah. You can buy you a drink. You can well, I mean, he did pick out somebody we know.
Well, you sidestepped the question. That technology does not exist.
Hey, I'm Zach. I'm here with my co-host Aaron.
Hey guys, what's up?
You're watching A to Z podcast, where we sit down with folks that make Southeast Texas a better place to live.
That's right, and if you're new to the show, thank you for checking us out. A to Z Podcast lives everywhere on the internet that you can find podcasts. That's YouTube, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, everything but a carrier pigeon.
We also have a phone number you can call or text us, 409-206-2971. That's 409-206-2971. Send us a picture of your dog, and we'll get you something, a sticker, a magnet, or something like that. Anyway, you can tell that we are in a new space.
New background.
A to Z Studio 3.0.
This is the new hotness over here, guys. We were kind of trolling you with that intro. We kind
You thought we were quitting.
They thought we were quitting.
They thought we were quitting.
But no, it's actually the exact opposite. We moved into a much bigger space, a much more functional space for what we need to do. The only reason why we took the leap and invested in this is because of all of your support. Everyone that comes up to us on the street and says, hey, love the episodes we're watching, keeping it up. You know, we see all the numbers. We know you guys. Every month we're breaking the records. You know, every month we're doing this. So we decided to reinvest in ourselves and also reinvest in you as our audience. So we just want to take one more second to thank you guys for always supporting us. So
be on the lookout for more content, more cool stuff. We're going to have more creators coming in here and doing their own things since we have the space for it. And it's just going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a good year after the year that we just went through.
Yeah, after everything. But anyway, in today's episode, we're here talking to the enigmatic Dylan Newton. We discuss a whole lot of stuff. We talk about gear. We talk about his creative process. We talk about how he collaborates with his models to get his artwork done. We also talk about those crazy masks. Yeah. So we have all that and more for you in this episode, so stick around all the way to the end. We'll have some shout outs and we'll do some other stuff, okay? So enjoy this episode 125 with Dylan Newton.
And I guess we can just kick it off and say, like, Dylan Newton, welcome.
Right, yeah, welcome.
Hi, how are you?
Before we start nerding out, I've been following you for quite some time, and I guess what you hit us
make
up,
striking
and
images.
You've been following the show as well. But I've seen like a trend, because I remember seeing you on Instagram whenever, not really, I don't even know if it's whenever you first got started, but whenever you first started taking photography seriously. And then I saw like this growth, and I think we all did, and it seemed like whenever you went into like the Cyberpunk thing and started messing with that kind of format, it seemed like you really kind of took off. Like you started getting more jobs. I started seeing you put out a lot more work, and now you're working for an agency taking photos or something. Like you're kind of moving up in like the photog kind of career.
It's wild.
Yeah.
I did not go into Cyberpunk thinking that I was going to get any jobs from it. I thought it was just going to be me. I was going to have to schedule everything. I was going to have to do the work.
And you're just doing it because you liked it. Yeah.
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 And soon enough, as I started, following that, a lot more people started hitting me up on Instagram saying like, "Hey, I want this."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Really?" Like, I never see this on Instagram because there's like a very good handful of photographers who want to specialize in that.
Mm-hmm.
And
it
so
seemed like around the same time as like everybody's doing the neon photos.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brandon Wolfel on Instagram. He was when I started out taking photos and I just saw. Oh wait, no, not Brandon Wolfel. Jonathan Nguyen. He's a photographer in Dallas, and he posted some photos on this like Facebook group that showed him using a mirror or a prism. I remember which. It might have been a CD actually, but some sort of reflective surface, and then holding it close to the lens and angling it in front of the light to where it would create a second image on the other side. Or it would play with the light somehow to where it just it made the space look unreal, and it made it look fantastical and very fantasy. And my jaw dropped, and I was like, how is it happening? How is he doing this? So then I watched Brandon Wolfel, who was like he's like the consistent king of neon in his fields. Like he's the one who is probably
He's like the granddaddy of vaporwave.
It's kind of like he has segmented himself as like, I will be forever reposted on Pinterest.
Yeah.
It's like it's hard not to see his photos there.
Yeah.
And I noticed that he uses CD to reflect light. And when on a CD, it's able to refract into like the color RGB.
Yeah.
Or, just the color.
Just a rainbow.
Yeah, just do the rainbows.
The spectrum, yeah.
And so that was like a tool to me whenever watching these other guys do it. I saw that and I was like, ooh, this could take what I do to next level. So that's how the neon thing just got started for me.
Yeah.
But then during that same time, watching movies like Blade Runner, 2049, Ghost in the Shell, Akira, all those movies at that same time, I was like, I want to get that. I want to get that so bad. But my little knowledge of Photoshop and my like limited idea of experience and like how do I create that over the years, of course it would get better, but like
from the get, you're saying I want to get to this level, and it's like you have no idea how to do it.
Yeah,
You
no,
don't even-
there's
you
not
don't even
a-
know where to start.
It's just colors, man. Yeah.
There was-
colors and
exactly.
techniques and
There was never I guess a workbook on how to get to that point. It was all just I would pay attention to other photographers, see what they're doing, see if I could take some tricks from them, and then try to tell a story in a sense. Like, even though really short stories of just like, what is this character doing? What are they trying to do? He's trying to hack into something. How do I do that? How do I Photoshop that? How would I? And so it's like taking the big picture and then doing it in bite size to where it's like, all right, how can I make this look more real? And I think that's the thing I'm still trying to do is like take something that I see and be like, how are they doing that? How can I like kind of take that idea and then warp it how I want? But now it's like we have a little on Instagram, I think we have like a little group between maybe 2-3 photographers where we'll share all of our assets,
tools and
all tools.
Really assets. So you have like little like circuit board things that you can embed, and you'll share actual assets. Like that's
like
isn't it nice to work together?
God,
Like,
it's so nice.
Isn't it nice to not be in direct competition? You know?
So this is the reason why I never work with so many photographers ever at all.
Yeah, they think they're the only ones that know what they're doing.
Right.
You know?
So irritating.
It's a scarcity thing.
It scares me out of it. I like, if anything, I'll just say, and honestly, I feel like it's also I'm keeping my like human nature away from how toxic it could get. Like if I see someone doing better than me at what I do, intrinsically I want to naturally be like, I'm gonna kind of like a competition, but then I need to step back and be like, dude, we don't need to take it there. We can just work on what we want, and it makes everything so much easier. Goodness gracious, it's.
I mean, even when you segment things down, the images that you're trying to produce, like you're like a subgenre. You know what I mean, so there's not going to be a lot of competition with what you do. Is might as well work together, you know.
Which is, I love it so much. There's one guy named Wilmer. He's from New York City, and he teaches me. Every once in a while, we'll get on Discord, and he will teach me just a master class of Photoshop, which is insane. Like, and then after that, he's like, "Hey, I will give you my whole entire library of brushes, assets," and I'm just thinking in my head, "Bro, what?" And he's like, "You do good work. I'm proud of what you do. I want you to keep on. I want to see where you can go with it. There's so many other photographers
and
that
here's some more tools.
Yes,
you know?
exactly.
How amazing is that in this day and age, especially for art and for creating things, in that tools now isn't like a hammer and a stake or whatever. It's like
or a physical brush.
It's just a file that you send.
It's a resource, and it's just it could be
endless
small.
Amounts. Yeah.
I remember another photographer, Andrew Schlafoni. He is literally my main man. He is so cool. I love that dude.
Shout out Dave, man.
Yeah,
all the
Andrew
shout-outs.
Schlafoni. That dude, he gave me, I think it was years ago. It was so funny. He gave me like a pack of digital files of stickers, Cyberpunk stickers. And it's so funny. You can actually see in the, like at the file, like the crease in the center and the cross section where it might have been folded like a sticker or something.
Oh, it's emulated.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
wearing?
It looks like wearing.
Yeah.
And he says like, "Hey,
I mean, a lot of those can
use
be
these.
just scanned in and then vectorized.
Exactly.
The real stickers. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was the opposite. He did it the opposite way actually. So he got the digital files and then he took them and then made patches, stickers, actual stickers. He made like actual stuff he could put on
and then
his
texturized
hardware
like
that he got or built or whatever.
It's like what's the there's a tipping point with it where it's like you probably started this whole journey that you've been on being a photographer, trying to do everything in camera, you know, using the CDs, and you see the guys that have like the little crystals and everything they hold and make photos with, and it's like, but at what point are you still a photographer at this point, you know? Because it's probably 80 to 90% of the image is Photoshop.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of your stuff now is like you're doing a lot of like digital manipulation and stuff. Yeah.
There's quite a bit of it. I try to keep as much as I can within the realms of.
This dog's so silly.
I love that. I would too.
You're
honestly.
so silly.
I try to keep as much as I can. Try to be literal, like actual with it, because I think that. Like watching Blade Runner in 2049, they use practical stuff. They build their props, and it's the coolest thing to see that. And after what got me interested in building props was there's this dude in Japan, Hiroto Ikuchi, and he builds these incredible masks that are about like they start about here at the chest and then they're all over, and it seems like they're so intricate and every little piece looks like it has a purpose, which is everything you could possibly want out of like a prop piece. Like I remember reading through the Star Wars would have those really cool cross-section books of their vehicles.
And they break it down.
And they break down the science of it, and it would make so much sense.
Can you imagine having that job? It's like you have to make
books,
sense out of this like crappy prop that was thrown together in the 70s, you know?
Yeah, you have to
Exactly.
make a schematic out of an AT-AT.
Yeah, imagine that. And like, oh yeah, so here's the heat, where the heat's coming, it's coming, and it's so logical too.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what his name was, but Scott had a lot of help in Blade Runner from a futurist. who designed most of those things. I can't remember his name.
Oh,
he
it
was a
wasn't-
French.
Very cool.
He was a French futurist.
God, what was
And he designed the cars and a lot of the things, and it was actually done very logically, And he was like,
Yeah.
all right, well, in the future,
I
the
want
planet's
to
going to
say,
be
was it the
overpopulated.
guy that created MIDI?
Oh, perhaps. I don't know.
Is
my
also a
God.
futurist, and he does these weird things. There's
Yeah.
a guy that created. No, it's a guy that created. It's a bass or something. It's an instrument, not Moog or anything like that. But it's anyway.
It's like a kind of a synth bass.
God, what
This guy
was it?
created a
It
lot of
was
stuff.
It was a keyboard company.
Oh, he made the keytar. Got it.
No,
Word.
not.
He made the piano key necktie.
I'm
wouldn't
sure he
surprise me.
wrote the Tron soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a difference. Like if you look at Tron and you look at Blade Runner, where on paper they look the same, but they're not.
Oh my gosh.
So
You know
is,
what I mean?
is that
Yeah.
kind of like so I'm guessing you loved science fiction as a kid. Or
Oh
just
yeah,
in general.
totally. Star Wars was like the
And-
bread and butter then.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and
Even though
to-
it's fantasy, that's not
right.
science fiction.
Well,
Well,
there's
it's all.
there's
I
no
think it
science
falls in
involved.
between
there's
it.
no science.
does.
Yeah.
It's-
It's science fantasy.
It's so funny. There's no science, but all their stuff makes like sciencey, logical sense.
Yeah.
Like again, that cross
but
section.
at the end of the day, they're wizards.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and they
no,
use
totally.
swords. And it's like yeah.
But is it because what I've always thought about science fiction is what always drew me into it is and what you were talking about is like how every piece of the prop has a purpose and everything is like. Is that what you try to capture with your photos? Is you try to make people like want more? It's because you see an image and you see this is a really cool thing, and it's like you just want to like dive into that thing and make fan fiction of it or something.
Yeah,
you know.
I think the more that I get into the editing of it, I'm trying to figure out, what's the purpose of it, or like what is the goal of this character right now. Like he has his wires hooked up to something. Why though? Like, is there a danger to it? What's the purpose? Is there a goal to what he's trying to do? So that's when it gets into the fun of it, which is I think the hardest part and the most rewarding part of photography is the story building, or just stories in general. And I think with Cyberpunk, it's so much. I think it's easier because, like, I already have so much reference to like Ghost in the Shell to be like, oh yeah, the Motoko is plugging up to someone.
Yeah.
For what reason? What is she trying to do? What is she trying to obtain from that? And so the same idea kind of comes to me during the editing where it's like, how far can I push this? Like, what more would I need to kind of get the idea across? And then sometimes it's just like, I just like making bullshit.
Yeah.
That's the best part. Just making
For sure.
bullshit.
Yeah, no, seriously. There's no rule to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can just do whatever.
What do you think it is that? What do you think is what has drawn people to your work and to this type of work so much?
Boy,
especially
I'm
these days?
wondering.
You know.
Half the time I'm curious. I just I think maybe a lot of it has to do with the colors or just how crazy it gets.
Yeah, it's very striking.
Yeah. I think the fact that so I'm so happy is that people say it grabs their attention, which that's like another thing as a photographer, you just want to hear that.
Yeah.
That you feel it tells something and that it grabs your attention. And to me, it's like, I've done it. I've kind of done the job for that image.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely a slow rise because it always feels like I'm constantly making the same image in a sense. But I realize the old photography greats, they just did black and white all their life.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until like the end of their life that were their best photos because they just had the craft honed. So now it's kind of like, I'm just doing that same thing essentially. I'm just trying to get better and better at that craft to where by the end of it, I can just, like, the last thing I make is going to be like the most resource heavy production that I can go.
Try to do it all in cam.
Yeah.
That'd be-
oh my gosh.
That would be the goal, right?
Oh my goodness. I see.
Watch you switch it up when you get older and you become like Ansel Adams and you just
I've been
start doing
thinking of stuff
landscapes.
like that. Yeah. I've been thinking of stuff like that.
Like, where's
because-
Dylan at? He's in Yellowstone.
He's making Bliss version 2.
He spent 3 weeks in a blind trying to capture these wolves in the right way.
Like Walter Mitty. That was a good movie. I love that
Yeah, it
movie.
was a
I
good
never
movie.
saw that movie.
It's so funny because like I Cyberpunk isn't the only thing. It may be the most heaviest thing I work on, but it's definitely not the only thing I work on.
That's like your personal.
That's what you're
thing,
feeling.
like,
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
What,
Yeah.
So what do they have you doing, or maybe we'll take a break. We'll take a break.
Okay, yeah, I'll take a break.
We'll come back.
We'll talk
and
about these things
we'll
too.
talk
yeah,
these things,
too. No, I'm excited about these.
All right.
These are fun.
Look out, man. This your boy West African Floyd with the Kickback Podcast, and you're listening to A to Z Podcast. A to Z Podcast Studios are funded in part by patrons on Patreon. Look, man, I'm not gonna lie to you. These boys is keeping Beaumont hot. They keeping Beaumont spicy. They keeping Beaumont funky. This is one of the dopest podcasts out. And look, if you would like to become a patron, visit patreon.com/A to Z BMT. And like I said, man, this is one of the dopest podcasts out. So just pay attention, peep game, and look, it's gonna be good for you, all right? 100.
And the Caw of Commerce, this is where we come to tell you about the cool things going on in your community. The first thing that we want to talk about is Restaurant Week is coming, March 4th through the 14th throughout Beaumont. You're going to have to go and follow Beaumont CVB, that's the Visitors Bureau. I think it's Visit Beaumont on Instagram.
Yeah.
Find them on Facebook. They're going to have all their deals and postings. I think Southeast Texas Foodies is getting involved too.
Yeah.
And it's basically like just, you're going to find deals, and it's all about,
It's all about highlighting, the independent local restaurants of Southeast Texas.
Exactly.
And I
Couldn't say it better myself.
I do want to say that it's very important for all of us. This is our community. It's very important to support each other. Well, we just had some good friends restaurant shut down. We just had Texana Grill shut down.
That's right. Yeah.
They shut down because it's such a hard time to exist and do business right now. And without our help, without our support as a community, every time you go to McDonald's instead of going to one of these restaurants, you could be spending your dollars in a better way to support your community.
Supporting a family in this town, and
So
multiple families.
Just give that a thought, Every time you see a restaurant close down and you say, I sure do wish that I would have went, well, you could go. And if you visit Beaumont CVB and you follow all the restaurants they're going to highlight, you're going to get a good idea for what you can eat in our area.
That's it.
Yeah. I'd also like to take just a quick second to shout out my guy, Mr. Brack over at Classic GMC. He just put me in a new car. I told him I'd shout him out.
About time.
It was painless. It was nothing like a car buying scenario I've ever had. So go just holler for my dude. Just holler for Brack. He'll set you up. He was totally on the level with everything. They're even fixing my windshield for free. They just go above and beyond. All right. So just give them the call. Go give Classic your business, support business again.
Yep.
And that's it.
Yeah. And if you want to advertise with us, hit us up at feedback@azpodcast.com. We'll support your business if you support us, and
That's right.
Help us keep these lights on, and just share the good things going on in City of Beaumont.
If you work at a local place, tell your boss. Tell them, hey, I know a way we could get some good use out of our money, our advertising dollars.
Anyway, back to the episode with Mr. Dylan Newton.
Yeah, they really do.
I'm building another one soon. I'm
Yeah.
hoping. What I'm trying to do is I've contacted a techwear brand in China.
What's a techwear brand? Like
Like
what's
a techwear in general. It's like
you're talking about like jackets that have headphones built in type shit.
or like
You know,
stuff
with
like that,
techwears,
where they're
yeah.
like super, like there's a million different pockets that are hidden,
yeah, there's
and they can
technology,
be like they can just be worn in a
Yeah.
million different ways.
has like
They
copper
just,
wire
like,
running through. and
Japanese
shit. Yeah.
streetwear just
Yeah.
always looks like super tight, and
Yeah.
That's because nobody's fat.
that's damn. And oh my
Yeah, it's 'cause
gosh,
they're not fat. Yeah,
trying
yeah,
to get the I got some pants and I had to order like two size.
Extra large.
That's just
Yeah.
everyone's skinny.
Yeah.
Everyone's so
I have,
skinny.
I have a
It's
shirt
crazy.
from. I
Isn't
have
it
a shirt I
cool that
got
there's a
from
whole
Korea.
culture built on shame? Isn't that cool?
Oh, their culture is built.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah.
right.
Japanese culture is
No,
built like
you
the
can
backbone of their
do
culture is shame.
you can do
Yeah.
squats for bus fares.
Yeah, their culture is
Oh, that's
built
what
on
I've
shame.
seen. Yeah,
Or
It's-
like what was
the
it?
Russians.
They
I see that
Nah,
somewhere.
Russians
I think-
not built on.
I
They
think
have no shame.
One train station,
No,
one
no,
train
they have to leave
station
shame.
made the escalators
seen that.
skinnier, so that fat people couldn't fit them. They made them like this big, so that if you're like overweight, you're
That's
taking
so
the stairs.
funny considering
Yeah.
like their oldest sport is literally like fat man wrestling, and then
Yeah,
it's
so
like,
no, well, that's
we
very
want to try to
prestigious.
get
Yeah,
away
but
from that now.
they're getting
Prestigious.
fat on purpose. Though.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's for power.
I know it's in so intentional.
And it's funny too, like when it comes down to things that you would think would be similar in American culture and Japanese culture, even though in a lot of ways, American and Japanese are the closest culturally in the world. Like we're both work cultures, you know what I mean? And Japanese people and American
but
people,
at least they're honest about it.
we work more than anyone else.
Yeah.
So we have a lot in common, but if you take something that seems like it would be really similar, like game shows, they're exactly opposite. Our game shows are built on rewards and theirs are built on punishment because they're like a shame culture.
Do you think
Oh my gosh, I love this conversation because for so long I've always wanted to go to Japan. I feel like that's like the mecca for what I want in my work.
Yeah.
But like always seeing the difference in like how we're obviously an individualism culture.
Mm.
And they're more of a group thinking,
Right.
or like I'm doing this for the
You're part of a
betterment
whole.
of. And it's like if there was a way,
They're like a hive.
yeah.
Mm.
And it's as if, man, if I could find that medium, that would be so. That balance between the two.
Mm.
But it's just like no, we're either far right or far left.
Well,
on
we
this one.
we each excel at different things, you know. Our culture being individualist over everything else gives like creative freedom that nowhere else sees. You know what I mean?
True.
Like, there's all these different art styles here, and in Japan, sometimes there can be sort of a uniformity, like in everything. You know what I mean? They're not.
Yeah.
They're a lot more technical, but they're not as creative. You know, they're not as free.
Yeah.
as-
No, I can.
I don't mean like free as in I brother
Hey,
freedom.
tell
you
that
know?
to Hideo Kojima, right?
No.
Yeah, you know.
But like, no. I mean, anime is anime in Japan,
Hmm.
but
yeah.
animation here, there's a lot of different kinds.
yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of different kinds, and like a lot of people would. I know on Twitter, a lot of people would say like, well, there's just so many cool things in anime that we'd never be able to do here, and like as far as like maybe their tropes or the language and what they use in dialogue. But honestly, I think there's like almost like in a lot of anime, there's a lot of tropes.
I mean, yeah,
and
even that's a uniformity. Every show.
I mean, they're drawn relatively they're all drawn kind of
every
the same.
season too has a damn tournament arc. Why?
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
Why is that? That's,
Well,
it's
even
always
to, like-
the best one too.
They all have the same tropes too of like the nosebleeds. You know what I mean? That means a specific
Yeah,
thing. That means a specific thing. The bubble on the
Yeah.
pops up on the head. Those mean specific things, and they're just like ubiquitous across all of them. And we don't have that.
Hmm.
There's no trope that is in
Like American
Adventure
cartoon
Time.
tropes.
There's no like Adventure Time and Super Jail.
Yeah.
Like they don't share anything. you
No,
know?
you're right.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
so funny. I've watched so many videos on them trying to find the origin of the nosebleed thing. And
It's
it's
weird.
like
I know what
yeah,
it means. You know.
yeah, I know what it means.
What
I just
what
don't-
does it mean?
It means a very, very specific thing that would take a lot of words. It means like, it means
The turning of the tide?
It means a sexual intimidation.
Yeah, it's like
That's
a lot of times
like,
it's
so
like
if you get a nosebleed in a
overwhelmed
fight-
with
like, so whenever a
Whenever
guy,
the hero gets a nosebleed,
whenever
he's
a
getting
guy-
turned on by the
whenever a
kicking
guy
his ass.
sees an object of like sexual desire, but also is very intimidated and he feels less than by just seeing this, it's like, oh, and it was like the nosebleed. Yeah, it's a very specific
it's just like
thing.
sexually overwhelmed,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
it's so
Yeah.
funny when it's like a rocket, and you think to yourself like that dude's gonna die.
That's a hemorrhage, bro. Yeah.
That man's got brain problems.
Yeah.
now.
And there's also like the snot bubble, and that means a
Yeah.
very specific thing. That means like,
Childish.
someone that you view
Ineptitude.
as like your little brother,
Yeah.
like snot
Gross.
bubble.
and
yeah.
it makes sense
They're
because
dirty
they're
kid,
just
yeah.
No, because
you
they
know,
have those like
they're
like
one culture.
freeze frames where they do that little thing above the eye or whatever.
Yeah,
they
that-
show off
yeah.
the
I
mean,
motion
stuff
through
too,
like
yeah. Yeah.
and that is across a lot of animes anyway.
Yeah.
And maybe it's changed in recent days, but it's
That's
like
still saying.
built-in tropes.
Yeah.
It is kind of strange. I
Yeah,
don't like these things right here.
those are cool.
Yeah, that was a
You built these yourself.
Yeah, that was so. It was
Well,
a lot
let's
of
segue
watching.
this.
Yeah,
Speaking of Japan, I see there's some Gundam stuff on here. Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. That's a good segment. That's a good. Segue.
that's a good one. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Dang, that makes me think of
It's
Thundercat.
very clean.
Yeah.
He loves Gundam. I love Gundam. It's
love-
pretty much
I love
just
Thundercat.
Gundam is just pretty much World War II, but in space,
Yeah, pretty much.
which is so funny to me. didn't think I'd get so interested.
So these
but
things work pretty good for the pandemic too, huh?
I remember wearing this one to HEB just for fun, just so I could like get my groceries. And I was like, I need to.
How are the looks?
They were, well,
Probably not as much as you
Look
thought.
at
really.
this weed.
Yeah, that's exact. That was the first thing.
I've seen somebody wearing
yeah.
a Bane mask. You know, I'm like,
Dang
oh,
it.
okay.
That's pretty
Goddamn
cool.
kids these days on their like e-girls and their TikToks, and now they're wearing damn masks
I love this.
everywhere.
I love this meme. I've seen this meme of like clearly a World War II veteran standing by a bus stop, and then there was a weeb like with a waifu pillow, and it just like the caption was just like, "I fought a war for you." I was like, God damn. Oh man.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
I love that. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what I love about these masks. First off, I mean the craftsmanship is good. I like it. I like how it's these are themes, right? So this is a theme, that's a theme, and I'm sure you incorporate this in the vision. But one thing that I just really like about these images you're doing is most photography that has to do with a female model is about highlighting
The boobs.
the beauty of these female models, right? Which usually is like your face, and what you're doing is very vulgar. You're telling these people that want to come and be in your shoots, and they want their beauty highlight. You tell them like, I'm
this on your face.
gonna cover your
ready.
fucke face.
Yeah,
up.
sorry.
You know what I mean? Like,
sorry, I had to put on
and-
makeup, and now you got to put on
You know,
this.
and that's what I'm saying is like, but
Thanks.
that's what I like because it has like an encompassment with the image, right?
like
They're
that.
not standing
I like that
out
little-
in the image, like they're just part of the image. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You're in this background, and then now
Yeah.
they are part of this background, and it's like, no, we're gonna put this on your face. Like, I know you're pretty, but put this on your face. It's kind of vulgar. You know what I mean? It stands against what most, especially Instagram photography is.
Oh
it
my
is
gosh, yes.
anti-Instagram photography.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that's really astute
Yeah,
idea.
yeah.
It's a perception I wouldn't have considered, honestly. Well, I mean, like it might have not been at the forefront of my mind, but I see it though.
Yeah.
I think the one shoot I did a while ago with my friend Hannah Brower, who is by far, she is one of the best models and friends that I have, who's just willing to put up with all my shit.
Good at
Putting-
direction. That's what a
seriously.
good model is.
Oh,
Is good
yeah,
at
it's
direction.
perfect. We
Yeah,
work together all the time. She is very big into editorial fashion.
Okay.
And
Yeah, yeah.
I'm very big into this. And so a lot of the times we'll collaborate. And I think we've done a couple of shoots together where she'll put out an idea of what she wants for the outfit.
Mhm,
And I let her go off because she has
because
the
you know more than me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I'm learning so
Right.
much from her, but yeah, she knows more than me. And then I'll say like I'll build a mask based on our color schemes that we're working with, and we'll go from there. So she came in like this all pink, like blazer suit, and I built this, and it was great. We got like for the photos we got published in a couple magazines. Or
Oh,
every
dope.
time
Yeah,
I
yeah.
try to get a whole new shoot like that's based in like cyberpunk and editorial fashion, I always submit it to get
Okay,
published.
yeah.
Mhm.
When you submit those, do you submit like an entire series?
Mhm.
Okay.
It's tough too.
Yeah, yeah.
We have to really tear apart our stuff to
Yeah.
say like what
You might
do
take,
I
like-
think they
You might
want.
like take like 240 shoots, and then you'd be like, "This is my series of 12
God.
shots."
That's the hardest part. Not only going through it just naturally over the series of like the editing, it sometimes becomes like I don't even want to edit this one right now.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
like way too much work for what I'm getting. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna dash this one. It's not special to me. It's not doing anything for me. I'll just dash this one, and that might be like a good 20, 40 shots. And out of the 1,000 that we've shot, like raw and everything, it's oh boy, it's a it's a ton of work. But honestly, it's fine because usually it means like 5-6 photos of the same thing in a bunch of different poses, and so that's how it ends up about 1,000 photos. But
How long does it take you? How long do you think it takes you to produce a photo? Like,
like from
Like-
start to finish concept to
and I mean,
Finishing
just if
in.
even cutting down, like you're not using the entire shoot to do this one photo, but like how long do you think?
yeah,
I mean, the editing
yeah.
and everything after the fact's got to be.
ooh, that
Lot of
is a
work in
tough thing. It goes through
Yeah.
like a series of processes,
Mhm.
and it's like with every cool thing that I learn, it just makes the process longer.
Yeah.
So like I think for this mask that Hannah and I worked on, it took us several months to go from beginning, like building the concept to like getting the resources, picking the pulling the outfits and me getting the parts, accruing the parts, and then trying to even think of like, all right, how the hell do I even want these parts like organized on the mask? How do I even mount this stuff?
What is this piece from? Is this from a bicycle or something? Or a
which
helmet?
one?
This is a fan,
The
right?
fin. This fin right here.
Which one?
This piece.
Just
Oh,
this whole
this,
large
yeah.
piece.
So,
This is from a fan, I think.
yeah. So, it's my brother when he had my my old room in this house. He had a ceiling fan that was in the shape of a. I guess because I'm ignorant to airplane models, a Spitfire
I
plane,
see.
Okay.
and it had
Yeah.
the shark face on the plane. And I think before I moved out of my parents' house, I thought, I better replace that fan. Besides, I want that piece, so I better just replace the fan if I'm going to take the other one down. So I took the fan down, replaced it, and then I saw that, and I was like, what am I thinking for this? How do I craft this? So it was a big,
dremeled it up?
Yeah, Dad had a bandsaw, and I just and kind of moved it in, and then with his grinder, started just kind of like grinding the shape and seeing like how ergonomic I can make it, and I just wanted the face but it's always so pointy and it is halfway stabbing me all the time, like in the collarbone or something.
I mean, that's what's good about it, though.
But that's what it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
And
it
that's
is ridiculous. Yeah.
the best comment. I showed photos of it on Reddit one time, and the best comment I got was like the most it tore me apart comment. It was so funny because it was like, this is ridiculous. No one would ever wear this in the real world. It's so pointy and big.
I don't want to live in your real world.
Yeah, and I was like, well, it's a good thing it's fantasy. Shit.
What subreddit was that on?
It was on our Cyberpunk.
Oh, okay.
I bet you're going to see a huge resurgence of popularity with Cyberpunk 2077 coming out.
Are they trying to say that a cybergoth would not wear this? Because a cybergoth would totally wear this.
Cybergoth would wear this.
All day.
They'd
be
funny.
under a bridge just dancing. They'd be like,
out
I
of
fucking
like
love
the
this mask.
2.5 thousand upvotes.
Yeah.
That was like first day too. It was pretty cool. And like all the comments being like, no, that's awesome. That's sick. There's just this one comment from this person who they must have not realized
they stumbled in
where they were at all. They were like in literally Cyberpunk.
I thought it was in the Preppers Club.
Yeah, they thought it was supposed to be a practical mask for everyday use. I was like,
for COVID.
I wouldn't. Yeah, no, seriously, I wouldn't use this on my best day.
I did that. I did that the other day. Online, and I kind of felt bad about it afterwards. It was somehow I had stumbled into this page that was like a little bit hippie, a little bit hood, where it's like everything's like juju and stuff like that. And they shared this like astrology thing, and everyone was on there was just like, yeah, I know, I'm just going through it right now because all this, and I just posted
that Mercury retrograde.
I just like posted like the planets have nothing to do.
Mercury is in recompense.
Yeah, it's in reggaeton. I was like the planets are an unfathomable distance apart from each other. Your actions are your own. Like, and everyone other was like, do you know where you're at?
Yeah,
I was like,
bro, get your science out of here.
Dude, read the room. Okay?
I was like, all right, bye. See you guys. Sorry.
Just going to the drop in really quick and all right, bye.
Sorry guys. I did not know where I was at.
The coolest thing I love about this is even just like having the workspace for it. My dad, David Newton, he builds guitars in town.
I was going to say, have you thought about trying to get him to make you something like this, but out of wood?
Boy,
like that would be really interesting.
If I was a kid,
is that a subgenre?
What?
Like all the same kind of pieces
of like cyberpunk, like
cyber wood punk.
Oh, you know what? That's earth punk.
That's kind of steampunky.
It's kind of Victorian.
That's kind of steampunky. Yeah, that's kind of steampunky.
Which is like, I think every time someone's like, "Oh, that's steampunk," right? I'd be like,
"No,
nah, dog, nah,
no, sir,
I hate that shit."
No, this is powered by batteries, man. All right, this is nuclear powered.
Having
steam.
It's oh my gosh, it's kind of irritating, or just like I don't know. Steampunk to me, for some reason, is irritating, but this is totally different, is it?
Yeah, it was really steampunk is really nerdy. You know.
Yeah.
It's it's funny how like different nerds will look at each other and call each other nerd. Like you're a nerd looking at steampunk like fucking nerds.
Fucking dweeb.
And
I
it's
saw
just
a
like-
meme today that was like the people that talk the most shit about Star Wars are Star Wars fans.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, you're
absolutely,
right.
Yeah.
You
But
know?
steampunk people would be
Care
like,
too much.
steampunk people would be like, I mean, our stuff's based off Jules Verne, man. It's really cool. You're a nerd, you know. It's like, yeah,
I'm like, what?
yeah. You're like, oh, I guess you're right.
Oh wait, y'all have books?
Books. We have digital books. Kindle
Tablets, bro.
But like, if I was a kid and I was for some reason into this, maybe I could have convinced my dad to make me something like this.
Yeah.
But at this point, he's like,
It's like here's all the tools I got them for you.
yeah,
Do it, make
no,
it.
really.
Yeah.
I honestly, anytime I just need to use them on a weekend
Yeah.
or something, like, hey, I just want to build something.
But now he can trust you to put them back where they belong to.
Yes.
Yeah, now you've
yeah,
grown up a little bit.
been a long time, or I mean, it's been a while, but in the coming time. But if ever I have a project, he knows I can deal with the stuff. There's some things I'll be like, hey, I want to ask you a couple questions how to operate this properly. But for the most part, like, yeah, over the years of just watching him build guitars, you just kind of pick up on how to use the tools correctly.
Yeah.
At this point,
Well, it's really creative. It's like you've expanded on not just like you've managed to like take, like I said earlier, like the tipping point between being a photographer and being a graphic designer or something like that is like you're doing very little photography. Like a lot of time has been put into doing this, and then a lot of time in
The scene work,
preparation and
you know?
everything, and
Yeah,
like
it's a lot
it
of
seems
scene
like
work.
like the photography part is almost like.
Kind of does itself.
Yeah, you know, it's like you do all the planning, you build this thing,
Yeah.
and then you spend a day snapping, and you end up. I mean, is there like because you're doing a lot of stuff in post? Is there like a lot of? Do you still do like all the 3-point lighting, and do you bring out lights and do all the strobes and all that stuff, or or do you pretty much make up for all that in post?
So in Houston, it was a lot easier, I'll say, because there were so many lights in the city,
Mhm.
and there were so many lights that were accessible and that they were next to me and they were big and everything. I could use them as my source of lighting, or just like the overall space. Like Main Street Square in Houston is just filled with light,
Mhm.
and you have the big train running through, and it's very dramatic, very romantic in a sense. And I could just use that area as the light and go from there. Now I'm in Austin. It's much harder, much more difficult than I would have thought originally.
I mean, you gotta get all the homeless people out of the shot, you know, and
I want to see a homeless cyberpunk shoot.
I
that
lo-
kinda sounds
I
interesting.
I honestly do love the idea because I think it adds, like,
because
watching,
in the future,
cyber-
homeless people will be cyberpunk too.
there would,
you know?
yeah,
Oh,
exactly. Cyberpunk
In the future, we're all gonna
2077
be
is
homeless.
going to be filled with that, and I'm so excited because they know how to diversify like what Cyberpunk looks for.
Oh, you're really waiting for Cyberpunk
Ooh,
2077.
dude.
huh?
When
All
that
the
comes out,
inspiration.
there's so much
I want
inspiration.
to play the tabletop game.
all the.
I want to play that
I wanna
too.
play
I mean, you're
tabletop
gonna.
game.
You're. I think like once it comes out, and if it's a smash hit like they say it's gonna be, then I mean you're gonna be getting a lot more work and a lot more interest.
Probably, yeah, yeah.
I think so. A lot
right
more
up
Because
your
you're ahead
research
of the
gonna come
game,
out of
dog.
this.
You're ahead
Yeah.
of the game.
Yeah.
You've been about this shit.
It's, or I'll have to like, the other side of it is like I have to produce way more,
yeah.
or like I have to go above and beyond now
Right.
because now,
Or you might get sued.
or be like people are
might-
going to want to try, not necessarily bite off of what I do.
No, but it's.
I can see that, but
Well, biting is just it's what is that? Imitation is another form of flattery, but it's just like
Yeah.
it's like you've been doing this thing, and this thing has become slightly I mean, a lot more popular from whenever you started to where you are now.
Yeah.
And then it's only going to become more so. Hopefully.
yeah,
Hopefully
no,
we
hopefully,
get to a more cyberpunk.
the main
kind of
goal
situation.
really is that I'm hoping that more people will get interested in this for sure, because I think it'd be really cool for people to appreciate this, like how to what ends I'm doing this kind of thing. I guess the other side of it is that seeing the very shallow end of it, of like, hey, here's a top step on how to make Cyberpunk in Visco, and
Oh
be
God!
like,
Don't
Oh,
do
yeah,
those
yeah.
videos.
yeah, no, oh God,
Just
no,
do
no,
tutorial
I would
videos
never,
for.
I don't think I never want to do tutorial videos because it's like it just gives away everything and it takes away.
Unless you do one like Skillshare or something, get paid for it.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Or a
But
master
like,
class or something.
It's so nice because I can give people hints. Some people talk to me and say like, "Hey, how did you do this?" Well, like, okay, well, I'll give you some hints on how I did it. I won't like just give it all out to
Well,
you.
you
Just,
you also can't. give it all out. You know, it's like
Yeah.
it's like somebody asking, is like, how do you become a photographer? Well,
Yeah,
you get it. First, you got to get a
you
camera.
gotta just shoot
And
and,
then
just
go.
do it
Yeah.
over and over again, and you
And
just intrinsically get better.
It's kind of like one of those things. It's like explaining somebody like a simple like I guess like a baseline technique for even taking knowing the exposure triangle and everything like that.
Yeah.
You can tell somebody just study your triangle, and in the beginning, and we've taken photos. We're not professionals or anything. But in the beginning,
That's
it's
not
like
my Pentax
somebody
2000. So
somebody tells you that, and you
Pentax.
think, well, duh, but the more you get into it, the more you realize exactly how important that is, and it makes
Yeah.
more sense. And it's like Aesop's fables, like don't do this because this will happen, and everybody's like, duh, until you really understand it. Then it's like, no, that's really all.
To this day, I'm still finding moments where like, oh wow,
That finally made sense.
Yeah, or like it's so crazy. All these very simple ideas, and I'll still be like, whoa, I learned so much more not just now than what I anticipated.
there's levels and layers
About a
of things.
subject,
so
about a
new-
subject
so much
you've been
nuance.
dealing with for years,
Yeah.
and it will click to you because you just thought about it a certain
So
way.
much nuance, and hell, I think even the nuance is just like tricks in Photoshop half the time. Of like, because I remember one of the teachers at Lamar, I heard him talk about because he teaches Photoshop, and he said like, I can teach you one way to do this one thing in Photoshop. There happens to be endless amount of ways to do things in Photoshop.
If you look at the way that he and I do Photoshop, I guarantee it's going to look totally different.
All right, Mike,
Yeah.
we can achieve the same
we can achieve the same thing,
process.
but
different ways.
the process of how
totally
you
different
got
ways,
to that
yeah.
point is,
Yeah.
I know. It's so crazy.
There's so many tools in there.
Have you become like a Photoshop ninja after this project?
It's so fun.
Are you just locked into how you do things?
No, it's like over quarantine, especially. This was fun. I asked Hannah. I told her like, "Hey, just send me a photo and give me an idea of what to do." And she was like, "All right, I want you."
Like a writer's prompt, but
Yeah, exactly. It's like, here's a photo of my headshot. I want you to make it look like the face is coming off, and like you get to see the inner parts. And I was like, bet. So just like the whole day was just spent on doing that. And then sometimes just for like shits and giggles on Twitter, it'll be like, hey, Dylan, could you Photoshop me as like an Akatsuki member in Naruto? I'm like, yeah, totally. I got you. The other day, I just Photoshopped my friend Jason's face onto Master Chief. And it was just for the shits and giggles. I love it. It's like the Halo 1 Combat Evolved cover, and
I
he's
think
smiling.
that's our favorite thing to
love
do.
that.
Is we do that for our movie nights.
yeah, we'll put. We need more pictures though
Yeah.
of our faces. We're kind of running out.
Yeah.
I've been running out.
We need to do a photo shoot day where we just get an angle.
Just
just
constantly-
headshots.
You can
a roundabout
Photoshop has done that thing where it's
I've
like
seen that.
like changing the angle of the face.
It's
crazy.
Photoshop 2021. It AIs the face, and you can take a straight shot and you can make it look any direction you want.
It's crazy. There's so many
And it
crazy
looks
things
pretty
you can
great.
do with
Well, I was gonna
Photoshop
say
2021.
the easy.
That already sounds super cyberpunk just
It
by
does.
the sound of it. Yeah.
The another easy way to achieve that is all we have to do, honestly, is take a short video
Yeah.
going
Oh, yeah.
all the way around, and then you have endless
scan.
shots
Yeah.
of any. Yeah, you just put that file somewhere, and you just take a screenshot of it. It's like, do you want 3/4? No, I want like a 16:32 quarter. Like right here specifically. Like, all right, cool,
because
scrub through.
we're trying to put Aaron's face on some actress's body, and she's looking up like this.
I love that. And you're like, oh, I gotta.
Yeah.
How do I shape that face where it's not
it's
breaking the
interesting.
neck?
I still use like CS5 and shit.
Yeah,
I'm like, I like
I
it.
love that.
Get off me.
that every
It's like
app,
use the new. I'm like, no, I don't like it.
that every app plan is it takes a big chunk out of my bank account every month. It's not fun.
I think the Photoshop work was like or just learning to create this like stuff on Photoshop was the crux point of, do I want to learn how to 3D design stuff like the masks and stuff, or do I want to just build them? So there was like,
Oh, so you were thinking about doing these digitally?
yeah,
Oh.
that was an idea that I had.
Because then you just have one mask with green on it, and then you just kind of
it's
better.
way
I
think
easier
this is
to.
better.
No, I think it's better
because you
Look at
do
these
you-
scuffs and
do you-
shit. You know, like,
Exactly.
do you like take the screws out of it, or do you leave those in, or like because you can kind of like fix any blemishes, or you can add blemishes if you want
the
to.
blemishes are what you want.
I mean,
dude.
yeah.
I tried to do it as like clean as I could, and then when I saw the blemishes, I was like, honestly,
No, that's what you want.
adds the punk to
Because
cyberpunk.
cyberpunk is dirty.
Yeah,
you know
it
what
is
I mean?
really
Like,
dirty.
things-
Well, it's so cool. There's so many
tech,
different
but-
little genres
Yeah.
of cyberpunk. Like there's that
It's
like super
dystopian.
clean,
Mhm.
like post cyberpunk to where
like
everything's
dirty
white.
cyberpunk.
And
Yeah.
no, I like the dirty.
I like
cyberpunk.
technology, and you have bionic arms, but like
Yeah.
there's trash everywhere.
greedy,
Yeah.
just gritty.
No, you got bionic
and
arms,
mold.
but like
No.
It's
the
moldy.
wires are exposed.
Uh-huh.
Like you can tell, like he's got a bionic
You're
arm,
sparking a little bit.
but that's like the iPhone 4 version
Yeah.
of it, where it's old as shit. You know?
Yeah. I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Honestly, it really is just like in my head, either Blade Runner or 2077. At least the gameplay and the look of it, I'm thinking my whole time, like, man, this is the grittiest, just dirtiest
Oh, yeah.
looking
Hmm.
game I've seen in a while.
2049 was like much more bleak.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
You know, Batista was a maggot farmer. Like that was
Yeah.
the first scene. Was
If
he was a protein farmer? And it
every
was like,
scene was
Yeah,
like a
but try-
pain
future's
thing.
so bright.
But, yeah,
So
Roger
crazy.
Deakins, man. Try
Yeah.
try
Yeah.
try mimicking
Man.
his shots and
yeah,
without thousands of dollars of light.
nah, good, can't do it.
I mean, they
well,
have-
well, you can when your entire state's on fire.
that
Yeah,
was probably
everything just went
that was the
naturally
best
orange
thing.
and
Like you
man.
gotta think all the cyberpunk photographers in LA were just like, fuck yeah, like, it's time.
Burn it all!
It's our time. The sky is finally orange. There is ash a breeze.
Like, and all the
It is
Roger
my
Deakins
time.
memes that came out.
It is
after
my
that,
time.
it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
He was probably just
Shit.
sitting there like, oh, it cost me millions of dollars
Yeah.
to get this. Well, all we have to do is burn down the valley. Like,
Yeah, just burn
That's
down
all we
everything.
had to do the whole time.
So
Ah,
just burn
damn,
it
we
down.
should have
Burn it
started
down.
this years ago. Damn.
So Dylan, tell me, do you have prints available for purchase?
Oh my gosh, I think that's something I really do want
Bro,
to
you gotta
do.
get on that.
I
You
know I
just
gotta
to print
get on
Because right
that.
now you could be like, you know what? If you go to
Easily.
.com,
Hey, if you go to
you know, yeah,
picklefig.com, you can.
yeah.
I do have a website.
what
though.
are
Okay.
your drop your links, Instagram handles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell, pickle fig photo is the big one.
Pickle fig. What's pickle? What's the pickle
Oh
fig?
yeah, no, this is man. I should have
A
began with
pickled
this
fig?
thing. A
Yeah.
pickle fig. So
Do they pickle figs?
I've never had one,
It's sweet
but
and tangy.
at this
Did you know
point,
there's a wasp larva and all
I'm
the
too
all the
afraid
figs?
to try. Pickle fig are two nicknames of my name.
Fickle pig?
I
Pickle fig.
love that one too.
Yeah.
Honestly, I love playing with it and just destroying it every which way I can. So Dylan Newton, Dill Pickle Fig Newton.
Fig Newton, yeah.
And after that, I was like, I don't think I can go any farther.
No,
Like,
please
that
don't.
one has to. That one has to stay.
Yeah.
It was so funny. I think when I started taking pictures, I was making fun of like Instagram handles, and I said, "Yeah, my name is either Dildo Baggins or Dildo Swaggins, like .jpeg or something
yeah, but it's
like
hard
that."
to it's hard
Oh,
to
yeah.
be seen professional.
Oh,
Yeah.
That was kind of half the point because
Oh, yeah.
I just wasn't.
I like
there.
dildo
You didn't want
Swaggins.
to
Yeah, I
be taken.
like
You
that.
didn't want to be taken too seriously.
Yeah, no, because I wanted to keep it as much of a hobby as I could. And then I remember someone saying like, "Yeah, you're probably not going to get a gig with that." I was like, "Oh yeah, no,
Yeah,
that
you're
makes
right.
total
It's
sense.
like-
I
it's like-
probably and I kind of want to try to get a gig. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'll change that
Yeah.
into a still silly name,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but it still has a little bit of it's me though,
Yeah.
which is nice because a
Good
lot of
name.
people have said like, "You thought about changing the names?" Like, absolutely not. That one's got to stay.
Like, it is my name.
It is my name. I can't just simply change that one. It's not my fault. That was Dill Newton. Yeah, it's all.
Pickle fig. So
Yeah.
it's picklefig.com. Picklefig photo.
Yeah, so picklefigphoto.com
Mhm.
is. I gotta make sure about that really quick. It's a
Pay
very-
your domains, kids.
Okay. Yeah, picklefigphoto.com. Yeah, so that's the main website, and that shows all the film photography I do, all the editorial fashion that I do.
So that'll have links to like all your editorials that got.
Yeah,
put
you
out.
just go there, and it's got a ton of stuff. Any videography that I've done or been a part of.
That's your portfolio.
That's just
Right,
the
right, yeah,
thing
yeah.
where it's wonderful. I love websites because
Yeah.
you can put anything you want on there. That's just anything you've worked on in the past.
Yeah.
And it's just it's a nice space for you specifically instead of being like one more page in the sea of pages.
Or just one photo of a whole series and Instagram,
Right,
and
right,
it's square,
exactly,
and
where
you
it's-
gotta.
Or it's like it feels like a lot of times that whenever I say like, oh yeah, I do cyberpunk photography is a specialization, but people really know that I shoot film a ton.
Mm.
Like film photography is where I
Films?
started.
Yeah.
Yeah. that's how Dad started to teach me photography was through film when I was like.
You have an old Nikon or something?
I started out with a Pentax.
Yep.
Pentax K2. Oh, never mind. All right.
No,
shoot.
the K1000 or the K2000.
K1.
Yeah,
I think it's
K1000. Yeah, K1000.
That's like that's
Those
the
are
student
that
film.
is like that is the one of like the
That's
Canon
just-
A1.
That's the student.
Yeah,
that's the
that's
student
like-
camera.
Yeah.
That's the one you just see in Stranger Things. You think, yeah, everyone and their dad had that one.
That's the high school.
Yeah.
Like every high school photography. That's what they used.
It's such a solid camera.
Yeah.
No, it's like one of the cameras. I just like the Spotmatic because the meter is so damn simple. It's just literally a meter that says too low, too high.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's all mechanical. You don't have to have a battery to operate it. But now, which I've been shooting a lot more, for my graduation present when I graduated college at Lamar for marketing, Dad got me a Leica M6.
Oh,
which-
shit.
Oh,
Shit.
Oh, that dot, that little dot.
that
You see
red
that,
dot,
You
that
see that red dot.
Leica.
That glass, man.
Is it really that good?
So, yeah, I know that's a fun thing. It's that
it
like
is.
a lot of people will be like, the Leica camera just gives the best look, and it's just like that's not even, the
It's
camera's
the-
not
it's the
doing
best
anything.
grain,
It's just
dog.
the glass is doing the thing. So, but I will say there are some wonderful little things I love about the workflow of the camera, and I think that is really the thing that changes the game between cameras is like your workflow.
Like we were talking about earlier about the 6D has like everything is where you need it to be. and
Exactly.
It's easy
Yeah.
to use.
It's so smooth.
It gets out of the
and-
way.
Yeah. It's so smooth. Whenever you cock the shutter, you feel like every gear turning
You, feel,
inside.
you
out.
see dubs flying
It's those
out.
damn Germans, man.
I swear.
It's those damn Germans.
These things are incredible. I mean, I'm trying not to just over glorify it because it's just a camera, but like,
Yeah.
damn,
Well,
they are nice.
there's a
a
reason.
reason they're nice.
It's like
and they
that's
are
why
so
people like
nice.
Porsches and Lamborghinis and stuff.
Yeah, if they
because
suck,
I
they're
rock
gonna be
that
expensive.
foreign.
If they-
I
if they-
swear it's so I don't have a this is the thing I want to do is I don't have a like the Summicron lens, the Leica lens on it. I have a Voigtlander lens, which is still
Okay, it's a good
it's
lens.
still
though.
an
Yeah,
awesome.
Still a
It's
great
still
lens,
a
though.
tack sharp lens. My goodness, no, those things are damn good. Yeah. So
I have a Hasselblad back, but I've never been able to use it because I've never had a lens for it.
oh my god,
You know what I mean? Like it does.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nearly valueless,
It-
right? You know what I mean? Because it doesn't have a lens.
God, those things are.
It's 120. It's
One
a
day.
Hasselblad. Yeah,
One
it's
day
a
I'll
Hasselblad
get to that
120. I'm
point.
like, all right, cool. I got this. I got
I'll
this
hold
badass-
on to it. I'll
Yeah.
look cool with it, I guess.
But the lens is like
I'll look kind of rich with it.
$9,000.
So
It's true.
So is like film like your film's like the kind of thing that you've tried to focus on the most? Like, I mean, you're working for like a creative agency, a marketing agency right now. Is that
Yeah,
your
it's-
photography is coming into that, or is it your Photoshop skills coming?
More so the Photoshop skills
I
are
would
just
just
like digital. Yeah.
One kind of thing that I wanted to try to bring up is like if anybody's listening that's an aspiring photographer is like how do you do it for a living? You know,
Yeah.
Oh man.
do you have to go and get the marketing degree? Does that help, or is it just you just go for it?
It I gotta say, going to Lamar University for business, I think it got me in the mindset of how a business works.
Yeah.
And on the basic sense of like, you have a product. How do you market that? And what does that mean?
Right.
Because it doesn't just mean like how do you get your target audience? It means like price. It means how you're getting it to them, where you need to be. It's a list of things. So no, goodness, you don't necessarily need the degree to go into photography full time. But because I have a lot of friends who are full time photographers. They are full time. I am not anymore. And they never had a degree. They don't. They actually, I think a couple of them dropped out. Some of them are just still going to school, but just not for the things that you think.
Yeah.
And they, as far as a business, they're doing way better than I could have ever have. I decided.
Hey, man, you ain't got no prints, bro.
Yeah, no, exactly, right? It's like all this work that I don't, like I have, it's on my agenda
Yeah.
just to learn the printmaking process or like how can I go about it. But like it's not the big thing on the radar. If anything, weirdly enough, the
You
thing
just
on
have
the
somebody do
radar
it for
is,
you. You know?
Huh?
You just have somebody do it for you.
yeah, honestly, I think at some point that would be great. That would take a lot off my plate. I focused at one point during college. I tried making it my side gig because I worked at Guitar Center as my day job for years, or just retail in general. But Guitar Center was a big one, and then school, and then the other job would be photography. And that would mean going to Houston back and forth maybe 2-3 times a week for shoots, which was taxing on my sleep.
A lot of money, too.
That's a lot of money. That gas money. And the food, my goodness. Because I'm such a... Ooh, I love good food. That good food out there. Ooh, that good ramen in Houston.
Ooh, got that good shit. You know I'm stopping at Jenny's Noodles house. I'm stopping.
I can't stop. And... Well, I realized that doing weddings and senior photos just was not my thing. I just realized
it pays you a lot, but it sucks.
It sucks so much. You get quite degraded. I mean, on an average side, I don't think I haven't done a ton of weddings to really say that I have the full scope of what it. Yeah, no, I don't need to. No, exactly.
Don't do
it. I've had like one really bad example that was just the worst it could get, where I had to refund like more than half the money at like months after.
Why?
Boy,
it was like,
because they have toxic expectations.
Yeah, it was that. After they took a look at the photos, they're like, only 25 of these are wedding grade. And I was like, that is so
What is wedding grade?
What is wedding grade, right?
It's a photo of a wedding. It's wedding grade.
They said you didn't have that tasteful lens flare they were looking for.
Yeah.
It's like we were looking for J.J. Abrams, not...
Yeah. They were looking for the look of the Lightroom presets they were giving me.
Right, exactly, yeah.
And I was like, I'll use them, but I'll tell you, I'll do a lot better not using them.
Right.
Yeah.
They bought them for me anyway.
They bought you Lightroom presets
to use in their photos, and then they were upset.
Because they wanted to look like the preset photos.
And they were upset how they turned out because they shot in like black darkness. We shot out in Galveston on a gazebo near the beach, and there was no light whatsoever. And I was like, I have to just make it work. I was not expecting this whatsoever.
Did you have a tripod with you? Could you make the exposure long? Or?
No, I had a flash though. I did happen to bring the flash, but it was
one
just
flash though.
Yeah, just one flash. Yeah, like, and it was the bride had a medical complication, which of course wasn't her.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't her fault that she had that whatsoever, but it delayed the wedding several hours into the evening. And so by the time we actually had the ceremony, it was dark.
Yeah.
Dark. And I was like, I just gotta make it work. And I made this so clear, like, hey, because of what happens, like a lot of photos aren't going to be, what we both want.
Yeah, because you came in there thinking you're going to have daylight.
Light.
Yeah,
exactly.
Light.
I came prepared for that one thing. It was just me. I didn't have any second shooter or any light gaffer or anything like that. So it was a very like bare bones wedding. And this is definitely why I do not want to ever do weddings again.
Yeah.
That one experience. And they're like, if you don't refund this percentage, it was like more than half. It was crazy.
We're going to leave you the worst Yelp review you've ever had.
I would have rather
I'm going to blow your spot up so bad.
I would have rather that. Oh my God.
Small claims court.
They're like, yeah, we'll make a claim with PayPal, and usually PayPal sides on the
side of a claimant.
Yeah. And I was like, fine. It was just to be rid of it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was like, I will comply just to be done with y'all, and so you never talk to me again. I never want to deal with y'all again, and that's just. This is even a blessing.
It's worth it. It's worth it giving you your money, so I never have to talk to you again.
Right.
Yeah, it was painful, but so weddings and stuff. But it was great because it pushed me to like find a job that I'm able to supply myself in my living and also put money towards what I love to do as my passion. And
you can shoot for passion.
Exactly.
Not for bread.
And I don't really have to, like for people who want to shoot with me, but they're like, I can't afford this. I'll be like, that's okay. That's wonderful because I am not really charging right now. I'm here to have fun. This is my fun on the weekend kind of thing. I just have a good time. And so they're like, wow, this is awesome. I get this like fully like I get all these cool images, and I just had to show up and do my part as a model. And
Yeah, it's trade work. You're like, yeah. Trading
exactly.
my time for your time.
I'm looking for models who know what they're doing.
Are you looking for models right now?
Currently?
Well, that's the thing, and I mean, I'm always keeping an eye out for them.
Yeah.
I know that it's moving to Austin is tough to like get models together, and especially looking for models that
Austin's
would
a tough
fit.
place.
Yeah, it is
Creatively,
kind of
you know,
ironically,
it's a tough place.
Yeah,
It's a double-edged sword.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird, but trying to find models who now I can be kind of more specific about what I want or how I envision it. If I see a model, I think that's perfect. I think this is how I imagine the cyberpunk look. I can just see it in my head how it's all going.
Mm-hmm.
And, but you know, it's a handful of people, or like, honestly, half the time it's just like, what can you bring to the table? I guess for Hannah, she's able to do all this editorial fashion and like come up with really cool look ideas for the outfits, while also being an awesome model just in general. So like I get to work with someone instead of being like, hi, model, just do the modeling thing. And that's all. I mean, it's fun. It's fun. I have someone do it. The fact that I get to have someone do this for me is awesome. But like, whenever it becomes a collaborative experience with someone who's like, I know how I can bring this to the table, it's like, it takes the experience to another level. Yeah. No, it makes it more of a, we're making something. You're not just here for me. We're doing this for the fun of creating something in general. And so I enjoy that so much more, I think.
So picklefigphoto.com and and your Instagram handles?
Yeah, picklefigphoto, pickle.film, and dill.newt. Dill.newt. Yeah, so I keep
several.
I like
several.
I like dill.newt. That's cool. I like that.
That was the one where it's like, this is kind of my bullshit one where I can do whatever.
Okay.
But now it's turned into like, if I have digital work that doesn't fit Cyberpunk but doesn't fit film, I can put in dill.newt.
Yeah.
And then for pickle film, I'll just put all the film stuff there.
Yeah.
And then for the Cyberpunk stuff, pickle fig photo. And so I got several different facets.
You got all these avenues.
It's fun. They're all segmented.
Well,
I mean,
thanks for
thanks for coming on, dude.
Dude, thank you for having me. This is awesome.
Yeah.
No, I love this.
And make some prints.
Make some prints.
Okay.
So we can get you paid.
I will look into this.
So we can get you paid.
And I mean that.
We'll
I will
hang it
look
up.
into it.
We're trying to get you paid up. You know what I mean? Like, trying to get your money right, you know?
No.
Yeah, so everybody go check them out. We'll have all your links and everything in the description, and appreciate you coming.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks
Honestly.
for holding it
This is
down for
great.
the 409 out there in ATX for us.
I love that. All right. Hey, thanks. This is good.
Good times. Good times.
This is awesome, man.
All right, thanks, Dylan. Thanks for coming and talking to us. He lives in Austin now, and he's making
moved,
cool creative stuff in Austin. But whenever he was in town, he came by and talked to us, and that was pretty cool of him to do. Go and follow him on all his stuff, picklefigphoto.com. You can also find him on Instagram at picklefig, at pickle.film, and at dill, dyl.newt, N-E-W-T.
And also, as always, a very huge shout out, a special thanks to all of our patrons. These are the guys that they really support us where it counts, with their wallet, with their money, their hard-earned dollars. So we always want to give you guys the thanks you deserve. And if you're interested in becoming a patron, if you think that what we do has some value, you can head on over to patreon.com/A2ZBMT, where you can pledge a one-time or reoccurring donation that goes to your boys right here.
Absolutely. And next episode, A to Z 126, we have two very, very young, very highly educated ladies that are pushing for environmental justice change.
Honestly, what their big deal is just transparency. They want to hold these places accountable for telling us what they're putting in our environment.
Absolutely.
And honestly, that's a very low bar. If we can't do that, then I don't know what's going on.
We'll come back. I can't say it's going to be next week, but these episodes are going to be coming out a little bit.
We're transitioning, guys.
More often.
We're in this new space, so we'll see what happens.
Figuring things out.
You guys just got to stick with us and ride the wave.
Because I mean, obviously, we're not going anywhere.
Well, we did. We moved over.
Well, then we moved from the kitchen.
We moved from the hallway to
so
here.
we've stayed in the same 1 mile radius though. In Beaumont.
Yeah.
We've been holding it down here.
We stay holding it down.
We stay holding it down. Yeah.
All right, well, that's it. I'm done.
Okay.